What if I told you the next major update for RuneScape Dragonwilds is dropping in a week, and not only that, it's going to be completely different from anything we have already experienced in the game. That's right, survivors, we're talking about Dowdun Reach. Let's dive into what you need to know and what makes this region and update vastly different from anything we've already experienced. Next week's major update is called Dowdun Reach, and this isn't going to be just another biome that you can run through in 20 minutes. This is actually a fortress region. It's not wide open, it's not relaxed, it's not go find a nice little cozy spot and build a house and vibe and farm materials. This is the complete opposite, bringing and introducing a tight, layered, dangerous, close quarters fortress. The entire thing is built to keep you on your toes and significantly test you and push you forward whether you are ready or not. The entire region is under the influence of Zamorak, the god of chaos. We're talking a fallen fortress, paranoia, betrayal, decay, and right in the dead middle of it all, we have the Black Knights. And from what the devs described, this place isn't just broken, it's still alive. Well, barely. And here's where things get interesting, because Dowdun Reach, like I said, is unlike anything we've experienced thus far in the game. It's not a vast open valley forest, realm with a lot of flat plateaus to build on or to, sit and gather resources and then potentially take on some enemies. No. We're talking tight corridors, hidden pathways, layered interior, including a lot of verticality and even vault-styled progression, which means we are going to probably have a bunch of enemies coming at us in a small local area that we're going to have to deal with, narrow spaces to try to avoid getting hit or potentially taking on some of these mini bosses or elite mobs. And on top of that, we have some vault style progression, as I mentioned, which is going to be more so like the parkour or the puzzle solving mechanics to continue through, the entire fortress. Again, this is going to be vastly different than anything we have seen so far in the game, and I can't wait to see players' reactions to this kind of style environment and feedback compared to what we have already experienced in the game. And speaking of combat here, this is officially going to be the most combat-heavy region that we've had in the game so far. We've got confirmations here that there will be Black Knights, Zamorakian mages, and yeah, even Blue Dragons. But the difference here with the Blue Dragons compared to the green ones in Fell Hollow are they're not just sitting idle and, basically optional for you to take on or not. These are actually going to feel like roadblocks. You're going to have to take these on in order for you to continue progressing through the fortress and progressing through the story and the region here for Dao Dun. Like I said, it's going to be vastly different from anything that we have seen, and this is going to be very combat heavy compared to the other regions. And with that additional combat and challenge, there is a trade-off, and that basically comes down to surviving the region will make sure that you are rewarded. This new region will feature mithril gear, mystic cloth, dragon hide, and other new resource tiers. Dowdun Reach is honestly going to be a hard progression gate. Dowdun is not going to be optional content, as if you look at the overall map, it is going to be a bridge to everything else that comes next, as in Umbral Sands and the Scorned Wilderness. Now you might be thinking, okay, a new region, a new boss, new materials, resources, pretty much the same thing we've seen in other updates. What else is coming with this? Well, there's actually a mega ton of stuff, a lot of things that people have been asking for quite some time. Starting us off with the first one, and that is skill caps are finally being increased to a max level of 99. People have been asking for this basically since the day the game dropped into early access, and not all the skills were there, and all the skills didn't even go up to 99. So again, all the skills are officially going to be moving towards the levels cap of 99. Additionally, the rune crafting mechanic inside of the game got a major overhaul compared to what we have been just, pretty much spamming, creating and crafting whatever runes you desire. This one's going to be a lot more active versus passive, right? You're going to have to be able to mix and match the different rune sets and the different things to then get different outcomes. Obviously, learning the recipes are going to be huge at first, and on top of that, making sure you are paying attention to what you're doing when you are trying to craft them to get what you desire, compared to just getting some sort of trash or some random mumbo jumbo. Absolutely absolutely love this feature here. Anytime that they can make changes to make the game a little bit more active or enjoyable, especially a mechanic like this, I think is a huge W. Additionally, we also have the official launch of dedicated servers. Finally, baby, finally. Dedicated servers have made their way to the game. Now, I don't have an official master list of all the server hosting providers that will be available at the time of this release. I do know that they have their select partners that they are working on, and I do know that you have the ability to host your own. But if I had to take a guess, I would imagine that the major ones that we're used to in other survival crafting games will probably have their hand in the pot to pick these servers up as soon as they do go live. I myself am partnered with Bisect Hosting, and if they do have a server option provided there, then I will probably provide a community server for my community and my private Discord. So again, if you guys are interested in joining that, be sure to utilize the links down below in the description. But once I do get additional information, I'll be sure to update you guys with another video talking more in depth on the dedicated servers and what are all the additional settings and stuff that you can modify compared to what we have in the base game. And with dedicated servers, they are also increasing the player count on the world servers from 4 now to 6. So you're getting 2 additional player slots. Absolutely love this here. It's just going to be a matter of time, I think, before they continue to increase that cap from 6 to 8 to 10. You know, obviously only time will tell. Additionally, they're adding in some admin tools. Again, we'll dive deeper into that when they are arrived here in game, and then I can check them out for myself and then, you know, go over what you guys need to know. And last but certainly not least, they're also adding some brand new cosmetics for us to find and collect. Absolutely love that. Oh, and not to rain on the positivity here that we have for this update, I also failed to mention that they did state here that they are going to be delaying the fishing mechanic in the game. I know, man. I know. It absolutely hurts because I was looking forward to having fishing added into the game and, you know, finding out the different fish and the different locations and recipes and stuff that you can utilize and eat. It just isn't going to be making it here for this update, but they did state that they're hoping to release that soon after the Dao Dun Reach has launched. So again, it's not off the table yet. They're still working on it, still fine-tuning it, and it will be added, just not available here at the time of the update. And I personally think here the Dao Dun Reach is a massive, massive step up and addition here for RuneScape Dragonwilds. One of the biggest complaints that we've seen forever since the game dropped into early access was either A, lack of more content, right? People are just flying through it. Secondly, the lack of variety, right? It seems like the new regions and stuff that are coming out, even though they might add new enemies or slight variations to enemies or even additional mechanics like we saw in Fell Hollow with the, you know, phasing mechanic, it's not necessarily a full different experience. And I feel like Dao Dun Reach is going to be that for players. It's going to be a checkpoint for some players. It's going to be a more of a challenge for some players. And overall, I think it's going to ultimately just give us something vastly different than what we have experienced so far into the game. Whether that's good or bad is just going to obviously determine when it does officially arrive. But with that being said, guys, I want to know, what are you most excited about? Are you excited about the new combat mechanics, the close quarters area, the temple, the new gear? I mean, you guys let me know down below in the comments. As always, guys, I will be going live and playing the update as soon as it does officially drop. I'll be covering as much as I possibly can about RuneScape Dragonwilds here on the channel. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe here on the channel and hit that notification bell and drop a comment down below. Let me know here for the algorithm and for the engagement. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you all on the next one.